Hello and welcome to this new series of discussions that we are starting called In Conversation, where from time to time we'll be speaking to newsmakers and others who've made a huge impact on society, especially Goan society. The man of the moment at this point of time, politically, is Captain Viriato Fernandes. He is somebody who has not got into politics for the sake of it. He's somebody who has surprised many by winning the very all-important South Goa parliamentary seat in the face of a very, very strong opposition, in the face of very aggressive campaigning by the BJP. We've been wanting to have this conversation with Captain for a very, very long time, and Captain, welcome, and thank you for accepting our invitation to speak. We'll begin by asking you, Captain. We all know that the victory has happened and you've made your appearance in Parliament, you've taken oath and so on and so forth. But there are many who are saying that this has actually been a victory of the people rather than the victory of the Congress. It just so happened that you were on the Congress ticket. How much of role would you say the people played, and how much of role did the party play in your success?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Mr. Sujay, for inviting me. On the day of the result, when I walked out of the counting center, the first statement that I made was that it was a people's victory. All my life, I think so, I'll be indebted, because there are a lot of political experts from Goa who contacted, and they said such a showing of the people coming on the streets, people carrying out a campaign, was seen in 1967 during the opinion poll. And this election was nothing short of opinion poll, because our very identity is getting destroyed, and people were concerned, and people rose. They showed that you cannot take the people of Goa for granted. Secondly, as far as the party is concerned, I would like to thank the leadership, our President Amit Patkar, the leader of opposition Yuri Alemao, and also a special mention of MLA Elton DeCosta. Now, he was the in charge of South Goa campaign, and I learned a lot from him. Not many know his ground connect, his connect with the grassroots. And that was cutting across the party lines. There were also BJP workers who were connected with him. So I could feel that deep connect, cutting across religion, caste, all those things. So I also helped I thanked the party that they were instrumental in, synergizing between the party and the people and all the blocks.
See, Captain, I take your point completely, and we do understand that these individuals in the party played a role. But having watched the Congress very closely over many, many years now, one feeling is very, very predominant. And it actually seemed that this victory was pushed and won by a team of dedicated individuals who happened to be in the Congress, rather than the success of the Congress organization. Because you see, the Congress organization, forget North, even the South, ultimately the blocks and the teams in the blocks, in the talukas, and correct me if I am wrong, had to be built from last November, December onwards, when some of you decided to take this forward. So this was, it's not as if the dish was cooked and served to you. The point is that literally the organization, and that too, obviously you didn't have time to do it in North Goa, and anyway your focus was not on North Goa because you wanted to secure South. So isn't it correct that whatever had to be built also had to be built by the same team of dedicated people who happened to be congressmen, rather than the Congress itself having an organization which propped you up? Honestly speaking, isn't that the situation?
Somewhat yes, but in South, we also had a very energetic, enthusiastic president of the South Goa district, right. Savio de Silva, who would be there everywhere very energetic, and he would be in sync with the party leadership, be the party president Amit Patkar, a leader of opposition, or Elton. You know, there was a good understanding. It was a teamwork, and we were closely connected with each block.
Correct.
You know, for example, Sawarde, in the 2022 elections, we got only 370 votes. You know, and this time we are getting thousands of votes. So that was the thing, how the team was working. And of course, people, we can never take the credit from them.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. That goes without saying. So ultimately, it was the people's
we
movement.
connected well.
The other issue is the newcomer factor, in the sense that one can hardly recall when was the last time an absolute fresher came in and won an MP seat. MLA seat happens. The point here being that, see, if you go back to the year 2017, when the Congress was knocking on the doors of victory.
Yes.
Okay, and you know, at that time Mr. Luisin Falero was the president of the GPCC. It was knocking, and it was all but almost sealed, signed, sealed, and delivered. This victory was snatched away and turned into defeat in a matter of few hours. Obviously, there were a lot of failures at that point of time, and one can get into individuals, but that's not the idea. If you look at the Congress of then and the core Congress of now, with the same set of individuals, I'm saying same set of individuals who still remain in the organization. And again, I will not take name. My point is, where do you see the organization growing when the core elements of destruction are still present in the party?
See, from the time I got elected, I had to rush to Delhi twice. One was registration and after vote taking and the president's motion. From the time I have come, I have been going across the state, across constituencies. My main aim is to meet the party workers, to build strong blocks. Blocks have been put in place by the party president and the team, the organization. My job is to give them that assurance, and also whatever problems are there in each constituency, I want to look at the problems by taking the block into confidence, so that the block get connected with the people. I don't want to do that individualistic thing. You know, that will be selfish on my part.
Correct.
So I want, now for example, in Margao, the house of that lady home guard collapsed.
Correct.
I got a message at midnight. I got in touch with the additional collector. The next thing I did is got in touch with the block.
Right.
I said, tomorrow morning we have to be there. And you must have seen Savio Coutinho, Savio De Silva, the Mahilas and Sandra, and they were all there with a team. You know, so I want to inject that thing of teamwork.
Right.
What I have learned from military,
Right.
it's only the teamwork which can win.
One final question before we get into core issues of Goa, which are very important since the parliament is also going to be in session. What is important here is that you started off a couple of years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, getting into people's issues, taking up issues of the coal transportation and the double tracking and so on and so forth. And of course, I remember your conversations with people in Velsao, ROC, Kansauli, and then the whole thing built up, Majauda, Uttauda and things. Now, obviously at that point of time, nobody thought that you would enter politics in such a big way.
Even I didn't.
Yeah. So what happened? I mean, if you could just tell us share a little bit about the journey of that transformation.
See, it started somewhere in 2017 when I quit the Navy. I was joining a very big, powerful defense firm in the UAE. UAE was supposed to be purchasing fighter aircraft, Jaguar fighter aircraft from France. So I was going there as a project manager for that particular project. A good, fantastic package. And then the type of laws which were brought, the land use laws, how Goa would have got, what is happening now is pertaining to that. The regional plan. That is the root cause of all the problems. Which Parrikar had promised in 2012 that he will scrap, he never scrapped it.
Correct.
I don't want to say anything more because he is no more. So, but then it was that betrayal, I'll say.
So you see the betrayal happened by him,
Yes.
by his policy.
Yes. He could have, because everybody had trust in him. When I was in Navy, I was watching, I said, oh, this man, he scrapped it, means a very good decision. In 2018, early 18, we come to know he never scrapped it. On 28th March 2018, it is operationalized. Today, what destruction is happening? Our agricultural land is getting destroyed, our hills are getting cut. You know, rivers have been nationalized. All this thing is a huge conspiracy to destroy Goa. So, at that time, I happened to attend some meeting at Sada, Mormugaon.
Yes.
Incidentally, it's all connected with Herald. Your ex-editor, Mr. Alexander Barboza, sent me a WhatsApp message. We were school types, Don Bosco's. He said, you are going abroad, you will earn money. When you come back, Goa will not be the same. So go for the meeting. Whereas for me, it was, I come from a military, disciplined. I won't go for this meeting, activism, indiscipline. But then I went. And when I saw that presentation, it was being given by Abhijit Prabhudesai,
I remember, yes.
Rupesh Shinkre.
Yes.
And we were only 8 of us. Rest, people were sitting on the compound wall. You know, that means that fear. I am seeing why people are not coming in. That was the time I started learning how political fear is being put in. I will not give you job, or I will transfer you, and all those things. Your house is illegal. That is the time I started coming to know. And then that probably romance with activism started. I'll say romance.
How did that romance
and then
politics?
Then one issue after the other, one issue said that I thought that there were 17 strong Congress leaders there, which included 4 or 5 ex-chief ministers, Digambar Kamath and Ravi Naik, and they were quiet on the floor of the assembly. They have to be the voice of the people. Opposition is always the voice of the people. In Konkani, Goincho Awaz. And that's how we took the name Goincho Awaz on 8th of April at Margaon. Press conference, took that name, announced, and we had that massive meeting on 27th of April at Loya Maidam. That is where that journey started. But that politics was nowhere in the horizon. It never appeared. Then double tracking, coal, expansion, destruction. And when we were at the height of COVID, Goincho Awaz extended support to that new organization, Goincho High Court. We covered 84 villages, you know, in the midst of that lockdown. And when we reached Sholim, that is the time youth, almost 250 youth in the night, I don't know from where they came, college students, they said, for how long you all will call us? Now see, we have been fighting for now 3-4 years since then, but that shows that they have just come for 2-3 months and they are anxious. They are in a hurry. They said, please don't call us for these meetings. We have to fight. This government is corrupt. They are destroying Goa. We have to get into politics. Now this is their thought process.
So that was the first time that seed was planted in your head.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's where, so I was reluctant. Then I said, give me some time. So I took almost 3-4 months. And always I used to put across to my...
So the decision was made in 23 itself, around 23, middle of 23.
2020, the height of COVID.
Okay. No, but what I'm saying, your political, see, all these organizations were formed much after that.
Yes.
I'm just saying the decision to go political, or you plunging.
It was somewhere in, I think so, November 2020 or so.
You had decided that far back. I'm talking 23.
Sorry, it was 21. 21.
Okay. Right.
It was somewhere in 21. You know, we got arrested. Father Palmex and I got arrested.
So you're talking of the decision came in 2021.
Yes,
you're saying. Okay.
That is the time.
Okay.
That is the time. So that's how that thing of political.
But then how did the affinity with Congress start? Because at the end of the day, the Congress has been equally responsible for many of the ills that have happened in Goa.
Yes.
And then it has always had a history, of unfortunate history of late, of people who get a mandate from the people and they defect. The very people who you were in touch with at that point of time.
Absolutely.
I'm taking the Gambar Kamat's name directly.
Biggest betrayal.
And they went. So the issue here is that where does that place you when you look back on all this?
See, when we decided to contest as Goincho Awas, there was a parallel activity of Goincho Awas registration going on. That is the time the BJP government somehow they activate one activist. See, that is the time I learned some activists are being used by these people.
Right.
That activist who was working in the government service, he raises objection.
Right.
That Goincho Awas, I am also having a name called Goincho Awas. Now we got in touch, Swapnesh Shallekar, we were both co-conveners, he spoke personally to the election commission officials in Delhi. And this lady who is an under secretary, she said, ये नाम गोइंचो आवाज से गोवा का सरकार क्यों परेशान है? She also couldn't. Basically, they were scared of the name Goincho Awas. And when they replied to us, there was some objection raised. When they sent that letter to us, they kept one minister informed. I'll tell you that letter was copied to Nilesh Cabral. We were shocked. I mean, how does Nilesh Cabral come into this? He has nothing to do.
Correct.
But why have they written to us, copy to Mr. Nilesh Cabral? So we were shocked. That was the time we started.
You saw the copy?
Yeah, that letter is there with us. Letter is there with us. That is the time we came to know to what extent the BJP is going to show. So we came to know it's going to be a very, very difficult proposition. How many players in Goa are trying to stop us? And then in the meanwhile, we started campaigning in Dabolim. Now Dabolim, wherever I went, those were the so-called strongholds of BJP. They said, we want to vote for you, but you contest on Congress. So I said, why? He said, because they are scared of the police. They said, if the case is filed, how will you this? Congress is a big political party. They can save us. We'll come with you. This kept happening for almost 3 months. That is the time I discussed with my close confidence team members. Now the Congress bloc in Dabolim was totally destroyed by the man who defected. We revived that. We came to know that those roots are still there. And that is the time, somewhere on 1st or 2nd of November, I also got a call from Mr. Chidambaram. It was an unknown number. When he introduced himself, and I said, it's a great honor for me to speak to such a well-known personality. On 12th of November, we met. And during our first meeting, I told all that the Congress leaders in Goa had done to destroy the Congress and Goa. I said, we are all about saving Goa.
So you're saying Congress leaders in Goa have destroyed the Congress?
Yes. Fortunately, now they are in the BJP and they're destroying BJP. It's a blessing in disguise. So he heard me patiently. He saw me ranting and the anger. So he said, that is why I want you to come. So I spoke to my friends, close friends. I don't want to name them because they are not in the Congress. Yeah. Very good activists. So they also said, one of our person has to reach on the floor of the assembly.
Captain, do you agree that while many who were destroying the Congress have moved out of the party, there could still be some remaining who are eating the party from within, including people who have occupied good positions in the party?
No, I agree. See, Congress is a democratic party, but the negatives of being democratic is certain people take advantage. When the defection happened, 8 people moved out. I did not come out of the house for 2 weeks. I felt, my God, why was that decision wrong to join the Congress? I didn't want to be labeled as, oh, you're part of that party, defections. After 2 weeks, I rang up Amit Patkar. He was also new.
Right.
And I said, Kide Korea. So I could understand he also was rattled. So he said, he also felt, was it a wrong this? He was also first time contesting. I said, see, I come from a military background. We can't give up. I'll use whatever I know, little bit of military. You are a businessman, let's meet. And we met at Cafe Bhosle, almost 2 hours, and we said, let's build up from scratch. And we said, at least, suppose God gives us good life, long life, we can look back and say, when the party was down and out, we came together and we built up from scratch. So he also said, yes, let's build up. And that's how that journey started, little by little. Somewhere we succeeded, somewhere we didn't, but the effort was made in earnest, honest.
Right. Captain, coming to the issues of Goa, we've discussed politics now, but at the end of the day in Parliament, your role is to take Goa forward. And unfortunately, and this is something that is not debatable, but one feels that the previous MPs of Goa, irrespective of which party, could have done a better job in voicing Goa's interests. Because if you recall, even with regard to the MPA, the Major Ports Act, which came in the form of the Major Ports Bill, something that you used to raise as an activist earlier, that also wasn't protested and argued in the Assembly. That ultimately has become part of the bill, has become part of the larger ecosystem of destruction, where the nationalization of rivers, double tracking of the southwestern railways, transportation of coal, expansion of highways, they're all linked to that, as you mentioned.
And you were the first person to speak to me, and morning there were headlines.
Remember, yes, years ago. Yeah, so the idea here is this. So the point here is that these are issues that unfortunately still linger. And more than lingering, I think that it's become worse than what it was before, because the reality is very much there, and this is what you all have voiced again. Apart from this, of course, you can flag the other issues, but I would say that this is one issue, and how do you propose to tackle it? Because the act has already happened, expansions are going on, double tracking is also going on, other acquisitions are taking place. For instance, everything from the Bori Bridge to the Bhoma Highway expansion, everything to the linear projects, everything is linked into this whole cauldron. I would call it the cauldron of destruction. So that's one. Secondly, if you recall, if you would know that the law and order situation, with the number of rapes, burglaries, and so on and so forth, has become absolutely rampant. The whole issue of sound pollution and noise pollution happening in all the high-end nightclubs and other organizations in North Goa is completely shocking, because nothing seems to be working in spite of High Court directives to the contrary, to the Pollution Control Board and other things, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, there are basic issues of water, electricity, access of roads, common issues that we raise all the time. The poor people have no connectivity. They walk for miles across jungles to access the basic bus. So so one by one, if you could flag these issues and figure out what is going to be your strategy to ensure that this reaches. Of course, these issues should be raised in the Assembly also, but as an MP, how can you project it in a wider forum?
See, as far as destruction of Goa is concerned, there are many factors. Our journey started with the change of land use. Then came the linear projects during the height of lockdown. Now, if you see, and we have projected and we have got a lot of data, why do we require coal in Goa? We are not using coal. Okay, coal is required for industries in Karnataka, Maharashtra, but there are direct lines, there are alternate routes. You want to unload at Mormugaon, why not at Belekeri? Belekeri is much closer. Belekeri is close to Ankola. There is that railway passing from there. You spare our Goa, Mankul and Goa, we say. Very fragile, delicate Goa. We are dependent on tourism. This is the main today an organized sector. So double tracking. All these MLAs and ministers lied, and we kept telling them, you all are lying. They said it is for passengers. Passenger data shows it has gone down. Then why are you using our taxpayers' money for the thousands of crores? Expansion of roadways. For whom? Again, it is for coal. Today they are trying to make that highway from Lotoli, that missing link we were telling, missing link is getting completed. That bridge, yes, we require a new bridge. Old bridge is almost nearing 40 years. Build a parallel bridge for replace or that old bridge which was there. Why they don't want to go to that old boring bridge? Because it is going to hurt the business of crony capitalists who have been buying electoral bonds for the BJP. But what are you all doing? You all are destroying our fields, our khazans, everything.
Correct. Khazan is very, very
Absolutely.
important.
It's a heritage. We call
alignment. Even if you take any of the 7 alignments, Khazans will go.
So there is another one which is there we can give them. You know, there are 7 alternatives. One alternative is there which we have told. When I met Mr. Gadkari in Delhi, I told him, I said, sir, ये 7 alternatives है. हम लोगों के साथ बैठ के solution निकालना पड़ेगा. You know, because we know that it is meant for coal.
Right.
You know, but if we find a solution, the main agenda of the coal stops. Another flyover is being built, they are laying a foundation at Double for whom? One side, all plans are there to close down the Double airport. And then the minister, MLA of that place is saying that highway is being done for the passengers of Double. Passengers of Double will get down and take that highway and go to Lotoli to go to Bori and then come to Panjim. All lies.
It doesn't add up at all.
It doesn't add up at all.
Right.
Okay. So this is one. We are going to fight coal. Now what has become the root cause is that MPA. MPA, Mormugao Port Authority, when that bill was brought, Major Port Authority Bill 2020, they connected major ports. That is that Sagarmala plan, bigger plan.
Right.
I want to beg and tell, and I will tell this in Parliament. For that I have already started meeting all the party leaders of other political parties. I go to the place and I tell them, I need your help to save my state. I have met Samajwadi Party leaders, I have met Mr. Sharad Pawar, I have met big time Congress leaders. I have gone and met the Commissioner of Australia. He invited me to his place. So I got an opportunity, it was a godsend. And I told him, I said, Australia is famous for tourism, we are also famous for tourism. But your coal is coming and destroying my state. I will give you avenues. I told this to the High Commissioner of Australia. I told him, you are at present, your data shows that you are taking 24% import from China. We will give you medicines from Goa. We have got industries here. You know, we've got a $2 billion industry here. We'll give you whatever you want. We can sit, we can have a conclave seminar in Goa. He said, yes. You know, they know of Goa as a tourist place. I said, there's more in Goa that we can offer. But don't give us coal. I know it's beyond your thing, but convey, I said, to your government. So these are the things. So what my final the desire is, you passed that bill, it became an act.
Right.
Major Port Authority. In that, amend it. We can always amend it. Remove Mormugao Port from that. Just amend it. Remove Mormugao Port. You know, because by bringing Mormugao Port Authority, that Major Port Authority bill, the 3 clauses which are there, A, B, C, they are saying the local bodies, be it the panchayat,
That's correct.
They don't have any powers.
Plus, if there's any dispute between the local body and the MP or the MPA is supreme.
Yes. And there it is written, because of national interest. Whose national interest? Then the state has no powers.
So what is the amendment that you are seeking?
Just remove Mormugao Port from that
Authority.
Finish.
Right.
Remove. You can't make that authority for a small state like Goa. You have created a state within a state. Leave my state alone. We know how to govern. What has happened is, crooks are ruling Goa. Today, unfortunately, crooks are ruling Goa. Tell them to move a privilege motion, I'll come. They're jumping there with those placards against Elton, privilege motion, Elton apologize. The fellows who are standing, they have to apologize to the people of Goa. When the house of that Bahujan Samaj family was demolished at Asagaon, those bouncers who were there with this MLA. I have evidence. There are photographs, there is video, and that man is saying privilege motion. We have enough still. I may be a politician. Activism is there in my blood. We have gathered enough. So we also warn these MLAs, ruling party MLAs and the defectors. We will go after you. Because you all are the people being used by your bosses in Delhi to destroy Goa. We have not come here to warm up our seats, to fold our hands and sit in parliament. We have come, people have given a mandate to save Goa.
Right. This is important. See, other issue, Captain, is that, I was flagging the whole issue of law and order and policing. And if you look everywhere, for instance, this cannot happen unless there is a pliant police force.
Absolutely.
which is in bed with violators. Whether you look at noise pollution and nighttime activities in North Goa, if you look at so many issues of law and order that leaves to be addressed, and so on and so forth. The idea here is that ultimately governance and policing and law and order needs to be completely strengthened, because Goa is somehow getting that whole impression of sab chalta hai. Whether you look at, whether you flag any issue. Now we have the sunburn issue, of course, we'll have a separate discussion on that. But I'm essentially saying is that, do we not have the police force which is credible enough to do this? I mean, you spoke about the bouncer issue. You did not mention, but I'm sure you'll agree, that particular letter written by the PI of Anjuna, specifically talking about the then Director General of Police, not only stopping them from carrying out the demolition, stopping them with his own police force, but essentially saying that he called a meeting to ensure that the path of the demolishers was smoothened and cleared. So, your thoughts on this?
See, there are different, indexes where the progress of a state is measured, be it education, be it law and order, be social this. Where does Goa stand? We are down in every graph except law and order. That is the only title we can give to this government, where the Chief Minister himself is a Home Minister. We are number one in crime. We are the rape capital of India. We are the murder capital of India. We are the unemployment capital of India. Why I am saying unemployment? It is unemployment which leads to all the crimes. Because this government cannot produce employment. They have no vision. When they say development, it is their own development. Our children are struggling here. Parents are saving money, sacrificing to give a good education. Once they are educated, you have to go with bags. They demand bags. From where will they give? Whereas their children are studying abroad. One MLA raised this, saying that shortage of policemen. I was just watching even the MLA of Kortali, Mr. Anton was. I heard him speaking that there is shortage of policemen, there has to be a post. He is right. I agree with him. If there is shortage, I will give a small example. Having been elected as a member of parliament, I have been provided as per entitlement 2 PSOs, personal security officers. Both are trained commandos. Yesterday I spoke to the superintendent of police VIP security. Please withdraw. It's
you withdraw. You sent your security back.
I spoke to him personally.
Right.
I said, please withdraw, because I know that it is not Captain Viriato Fernandes who has won. It is the people of Goa who have won. If I am insecure, that means the people of Goa are insecure, which is the correct thing. Providing me security does not provide security to the people. You provide security to the people, I will feel you have provided to me.
Right.
I have told them, I will be writing in black and white, please withdraw my security, I don't want. Instead, the Home Minister should sit with his people and see how we can tackle crime. Imagine the Sunburn fellow, we all know it's a drug festival. Nobody can dance for 3 nights and this, without, it's only some thing which is making you dance, some energy which is given. When, he's got the audacity, Sunburn people, they're saying, we are moving to South Goa, and they start booking tickets. The window is open. And this Chief Minister, who says privilege motions against Elton, and he calls them Babde. This is the Delhi party which is destroying the houses of our people. They are Babdes. Our people are not Babde. Imagine Babdo, te Babde. It's all, they must have sat together. I will say something, let us see the reaction of the people, then I will call you alla Babdes. Okay? When the tourism officials are saying we have not got any application, we are not aware. But they are very confident where they will move, where they will have their festival.
Sure, correct.
They are challenging the people of Goa.
Correct. True. Okay, Captain. So we flagged a lot of issues. Time is unfortunately running out, but I'm sure we could have more conversations along these lines. And the only expectation that the people of Goa have from you, not just South Goa but all of Goa, is that issues concerning Goan people need to be voiced there, and people are looking at you to be the voice of Goa in Parliament. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.